Well, welcome back to Stringman Guitars. Today we have a Seagull made in Canada, model S6 GT. Stands for gloss top. Most of them have a satin finish. Just a little bit of an overview. You've got a Tusk bridge, Tusk end pins, Tusk nut, Shaler tuning machines with has Seagull's little cap on the back covering the gears. It's got the Fishman QT1 electronics, 9-volt. I'm surprised did not come with the end pin. Sorry about bumping the camera there, but this is a great sounding guitar. For less than $600, I don't think you could touch it. I've played Martins. I've had Martins in the shop. I'm spitting all over the place. They have this unique, it's not really a rolled edge, it's kind of an angled edge on both ends of the fingerboard. It's super comfortable. Whenever I got this thing, I mean, this is mine. When I got this thing, it came shipped with 12s, and the intonation was spot on. I couldn't believe that on an acoustic guitar that you would have spot on. You usually have a little bit of wavering, but this is spot on. It was really set up well. The nut was cut right, and you know, for a North American model, that's a really good machine, or I mean, a really good guitar. It's got a solid spruce top. It's got cherry, a 3-ply cherry, hard cherry sides and back. It's got a silverleaf maple, it's not even the movie, neck. It's got a rosewood fingerboard. It's got a 12-inch radius. It's just a super good player, and there aren't many videos about this guitar out there, so I figured I have to do a string change. And they're going to polish the frets, and these little oils, she's gotten a little dry, so we're going to clean it up. Also, it comes with a pick guard, but I chose to leave it off. It is getting a little scratched up from playing, but heck, look at Willie Nelson's trigger. You know, for a $550 guitar, for as much as I play, I'd rather have the sound of not having the pick guard on there than putting the pick guard on to keep it pretty. I just prefer the better sound. So the pick guard stays in the case. It did not come with a case, but they had a dreadnought case that fit it. So, anywho, got Mitch McVicker on the box, but somebody keeps on texting me. Anyhow, it's just my wife saying I love you, which, I mean, she meant me, not you. So anyhow, a couple of measurements here. They want 12 thousandths at the 7th fret with the capo for relief. And this thing spent quite a bit of time in the case. So I really, haven't had a chance to play it much or change the strings, but it's right where it should be with all the dryness that we've had. The room I keep my guitars in, it is a bit more humid in there. So anyhow, let's get with just changing the strings, and it doesn't appear that it needs a any truss rod adjustment or anything, so we're just going to change the strings. A lot of years of playing, my favorite string is the Ernie Ball Earthwood. I just love the way they sound. Yeah, most people say, yeah, you get phosphor bronze springs and they all sound the same. You know, maybe, but to me, I can hear a difference. So I'll let you argue that point amongst yourselves. One of the top tips, whenever you take out your end pins, keep them in order, because after the guitar gets used to being a with a certain gauge of strings, as it gets older, you'll find if you just keep on putting them back in the same spot, you'll end up not having some of the other problems of string slippage, what have you. Just take me some 4/0 steel wool and brighten these babies up a little bit. I was out again today, as I said in my previous video, in the Ohio River. Looks like Lake Erie. It's so windy out there with this northeaster we're getting. You know, it's definitely a livable temperature out there. I think it was like 43 or something. But I'll tell you what, man, the wind is nasty. There were trees actually right near where my mom lives. There's this big old, probably 150-year-old tree that got blown down onto a two-story house through the roof and onto a BMW dealership back lot. So yeah, we had some mighty big wind last night. And pray for the people that are out there in the East Coast, Northeast Coast, dealing with all the super high tides and the what they call it, storm surge. I've had floods before. I've had a 4-foot deep bit of water in this basement back during Hurricane Ivan. Those poor people, they've been hit a lot. You know, they had Hurricane Sandy, and now they're having this little adventure before the spring rains hit, even, you know. So the question is, I think we're just going to use some of the Formula One I typically use linseed oil, but I did that whenever I first got this a year and a half ago, and it's still pretty good. But I do like that fresh guitar smell. And since, you know, even though you put the linseed oil on there, you still get, I mean, it's still an open grain, so to speak. It's not like it's sealed up with like a maple neck would be on a Stratocaster. So you got the pores, especially on the outer surface after it's had a time for that linseed to sink in. So it's nice to just hydrate the top of it. And I also do a little bit of hydration on the bridge, just a little bit. Just give it some new life. Actually, this is so loose, I'm just going to lift it out, go over it. Unlike some of the other brands, this didn't come with any neck shims, but the action on it is perfect. String height is nice and low, but it still doesn't buzz. Okay, so one thing I want to pass on to you, whenever I'm putting on the wound strings, I usually just put my hand here and pull the string tight, and that gives me 2 rounds or 2 wraps on the peg head. The B and E, they tend to be a bit more slippery, so I double that height and we wind it up, and takes a bit more winding, but you get more string on the peg. So as you can see, we've got 2 wraps, 2 wraps, 2 wraps, 2 wraps, and probably 5 or 6 on each one of these. All we have to do is tune it up, clean it up, and get ready to play. I'm working on a new song, and we'll have to see how that works out. Notice that I left the floppy string ends on there just in case for some reason I would have to go ahead and take the strings off. And then, excuse me, take yourself a nice clean microfiber cloth. You don't spray anything on there unless it's some of your own saliva. And that pretty much wraps up our video for today. So, like I said, I'm going to stretch the strings, double check my adjustments, because, well, I had the same gauge of strings on there, so nothing should change after it settles. So anyhow, I'll check you out later. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Those are hints. Please watch, please subscribe, please like, and check me out on the Facebook under Stringman Guitars. So you have a great night. It's Friday. Take your wife out for a nice dinner or something, or your husband. Anyhow, thank you.